Tune in to Kinda Smart.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kinda Smart. This is me, Abby, and this is my special guest, Amy Warner.
Hello.
She also happens to be my mother, so that's really cool. But today, she's going to teach us something really cool. She is I'll introduce her, then she can introduce herself. So this is my mother. She is a wonderful hostess. Everyone has parties and gatherings at her house. She is an amazing cook. She can make anything. She is an amazing grandmother. Obviously an amazing mother. Look at me. And yeah, she's here. She's willing to be on my podcast, so that's awesome. Who else has their mom on their podcast? I have no idea. No one that I know. So this is my mom. Mom, how would you introduce yourself?
Oh, goodness. Well, obviously, I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I am an employee. At the moment, a very stressed out employee. But I work for a major corporation, and it is proving to be incredibly stressful these days. But I love my family. I love music. I love to dance. I love to enjoy myself and have a good time. And when you asked me about what I could be kind of smart about,
Yes, a teaching subject.
I have, I'm one of those jack of all trades, but master of none, I guess. So I'm going to teach you one of my hostess tricks today. It's going to be about always having a signature cocktail for your guests.
Yes.
So we're going to make a signature cocktail today.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited. June's always a part. She's always welcome here. But yes, I think it's a great idea. Every gathering you have, whether it's just a little dinner, a little get-together, Easter, whatever you got going on, have a little signature drink where you have all the stuff, you have extras of the stuff, and you teach people how to make it, and everyone has the drink of the day. It's super fun. She does it all the time. So we're going to learn how to do that in just a little bit. We are going to ask some questions, kind of get to know what's going on here, and then we will learn something. Okay, so Mom.
Yes.
This is harder than I thought it would be.
Oh, no.
How do you feel?
I feel
You feel fine?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think it's this light.
It could be.
It could be.
It's an interrogation light.
What is one of the most ridiculous things that I've done as a child? Me personally, I know you have 4 children. But what's something I've done as a child that has made you question your parenting?
Oh my gosh. You personally?
Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have asked that question. Oh, I didn't think that far.
Well, I will just say that as a child, a young child, you were my most honest, most chill child. You slept when you were supposed to sleep. You would always confess if you did something wrong. You were really, really well behaved. It was in your tweens to teens that you really started making me question my parenting.
Okay, so really just me hitting puberty.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable. And I'm scared for that point with my daughter.
Yeah. You should be.
Because she's already...
She's already got your tood
already
from when you were a teen.
as miniature me,
Yeah.
so... Whew, okay, well, I'm glad we kept that general. Next question. What is one piece of advice that you have given me that I 100% ignored, but now we both know you were always right?
I think one of the things, I don't know as a as a child, I mean, I gave all of the same kind of admonitions to all of you kids growing up, the general things about, you know, the value of kindness and making friends with all different types of people and keeping open minds and giving people a chance and things like that. But the one piece of advice that sticks in my mind is when you became a little bit older. And it's very difficult as a parent when you are confident that you're giving good advice and sharing your wisdom with your children, and you hope that they will listen. But I can very clearly telling you that you needed to handle and be responsible for your own finances, to never give that power away to somebody else, because you never know when you're going to need that little nest egg, or you always need to know what's going on with your own funds and your own money and things like that. And
Yeah, I think even if you're married,
absolutely. I
you
mean,
need to have your you can have a joint bank account, but you got to have your own separate ones. I mean, you never know.
yep, Maya Angelou, I think it was Maya Angelou that always said you should always have first and last month's rent saved as a female.
Bare minimum, yeah.
I mean, and that doesn't mean, you know, you're planning on anything to happen,
But
because lots of
what if they-
unplanned things happen sometimes.
What
like,
if they died?
That's right. That's exactly right. So you need to have something to rely upon, and you need to know how to pay bills and what's due and what you have coming in. All of those things are so important for a woman.
Yeah. Right. Yep. That is great advice, and I did not take it at one point in my life, and I deeply regretted it at the time, and
Learn your lesson.
I learned my lesson very fast. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Ladies, I think I said something about this last time, but yeah, you got to have at least a little bit of your own independence, even if you're, married, stay-at-home mom. You got to have something set aside for yourself just in case. So that's good advice. This is a good one. If you could switch lives with me for one day, what is the first thing you would do?
If I could switch lives with you for one day, what would be
What would you do? Maybe not the first thing. You'd probably look in the mirror and scream.
Oh my gosh. Geez, that's a out there question. I
Right?
don't know what I would do. I would probably, I know what I would do. You have this big backyard. And every time I look at it, I envision what I would do with your backyard. I would probably immediately start gardening in your backyard and plant flowers.
That's a good one. Yeah, I do have a really big backyard. I need to start something.
Yeah.
Something.
Like your little corners, putting landscaping in and make it colorful.
Yeah.
Because it's really pretty.
And while we're on the subject, since I didn't have any Ask Abby questions, this is a fail, you guys. We're not sure. Maybe I need to get more famous first, and then I can do Ask Abby, but it's not working out right now. But we are on the subject of backyard, and my last question was, what do you do with all these leftover chips and blah, blah, blah. I've always wanted to do a countertop compost.
I've known people who have done that. But I don't know what to do with the compost, because they had like animals. They had pigs and...
So you go and put it in your garden.
Oh.
The compost, so you have the countertop compost, then you have a little machine that churns it up into...
And it's just
fertilizer.
acts as compost. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Isn't that easy? You put your eggshells, banana peels, any fruit peels, any fruit ends, choppings.
Okay.
Yeah, anything
So
biodegradable.
will it work for my potato chips?
Yeah, and you can dump all your bags or dump all your chips in there and crush them up. And
So I have all of this stuff in my pantry with chip clips on it, and every couple of months I go through it, and I hate to throw it away, but nobody's eating it, and it's not good anymore, and it's stale cereal and stuff,
too. Yeah, dang.
Well, if it will feed my plants, I will do it, because I just bought myself a raised herb garden. So
Well, it
maybe
looks
will
like
come
dirt
closer.
when it's done
Okay.
chopping up. So you just throw it in.
Well,
If you have dirt
you
pile,
do the
I don't know.
investigation. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, they're not crazy expensive if I remember, but I'm probably gonna get one soon. So
Okay.
I'll let you know how it goes.
You need more countertops.
I do, or more cabinets.
Yeah.
Or get rid of. We got to figure it out. Yeah, if you switch lives with me, you would go garden. I think if I switch lives with you, what would I do?
Get a tummy tuck and a mommy lift. I would appreciate that if we could do that.
If I could, yeah, I probably would dip into your bank account a little bit.
Yeah.
Why not? No, I'd probably like go fire someone.
It sounds
know.
fun, but
I don't know. Or hire some. I
sometimes
don't know. I would go mess around at your job.
oh boy, you can have it.
She works for a giant corporation in healthcare, and she manages multiple clinics. So that's a big job. Doesn't sound very fun or easy, but someone's got to do it. Let's see. What is a lesson what's a lesson from your mom that you never thought you would do? Or like what's something your mom always like did or instilled and you never thought you would do, but you ended up doing at some point?
Oh my gosh. I talked about this to Dad the other day because some things are just inevitable. As hard as you try, I had so many things about my parenting growing up that I said I am absolutely not going to do that. And for the most part, I've been able to stay down that track. Although I've had lots of failures and regrets, but it's more things like characteristics that she had that I find that I have.
Yeah, like little things.
Oh my gosh, her laugh. It comes out of me sometimes, and I just think, oh my God, I look behind me, like, where's my mom?
Oh my
because
gosh.
it sounds like my mom. But lessons or things that she did that I learned from.
Well, you and your mom, let's just say, didn't have the greatest relationship.
No.
So what's a good piece of advice that you did get from your mom, and then what's like the worst piece of advice?
I will tell you something that I got from my mother that still sticks with me today. She always said, never show up to somebody's house if you're invited over as a guest. Never show up empty-handed.
Okay, yeah.
So I always take, wine or a dessert or something wherever I go. And my mom taught me the value of writing thank you notes, which I have tried to get you kids to do.
I know. It's not our thing, this generation.
I know, but I always wanted to instill that in you guys because it is such an impactful thing. Like when you think about what it feels like to get an unexpected note in the mail or a card or something, and
you're like, thanks for spending that $100.
Yeah, or even thank you for taking the time to pick out, even if it was just something small like bringing a bottle of wine. Thank you for thinking of me. That was really a lovely thought. I think those things are important. They're kind of, I guess now considered to be a bit old-fashioned, but I think there's a lot of value to them, and I appreciate those lessons from her.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. What's the worst?
Oh my gosh. My mother, one of the reasons we became kind of estranged as I got older was that she was a master of the backhanded compliment and of invalidating your feelings. So if you said, this is the way I feel and I'm really upset and I just can't believe you made me feel this way. Oh, Amy. And she would just like with a swat of her hand booted away as if it had no significance or no importance. She wouldn't acknowledge, that I had valid feelings. So that was a biggie. And yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of it. Or if I would say, I can remember when I was 16, had my first job. I was a disc jockey at a radio station, and I made really good money in the 80s at the time for my job, well above minimum wage. And with my first paycheck, I got, now remember it's the 80s.
Yeah.
I got a pink denim mini skirt.
Ooh.
And a little crop top that like crossed in the back, and it was a tropical print, and it was so freaking cute.
Oh, wow.
And I came out in it, and I spun around, and I said, "How do I look?" And she paused, and she said, "Well, you wouldn't blow over in a stiff wind," meaning she thought that I was heavy.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was not heavy.
You just had your brand new outfit on.
I thought I looked great, and it was just such a, that was devastating to a 16-year-old. So
yeah, for sure.
I find things like that like on the tip of my tongue sometimes, and your sister often corrects me, but those things are struggles to not, it's just so ingrained in you.
I know what you mean, because like sometimes it just like pops in your head, whether you mean it or not. Like sometimes you just think it's kind of funny, and then you say it and you're like, well,
Ooh,
shoot.
yeah, that may not have felt good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get that. But yeah, I think the worst story that I've heard, I mean, I don't know much about your mom, honestly. I've only met her a couple times in my whole life.
Probably, yeah.
But I remember one time you told me that you had your time of the month and didn't have any supplies, and she basically told you, use a sock.
Yeah.
Go get a sock, a tube sock.
Yeah. The discussions about anything personal, hygienic, of a sexual nature, I mean, I was completely unprepared for any of that. And it was not on her
To-do list ever?
to-do list for us.
Yeah.
So everything was a surprise. Everything was a brand new learning experience. And again, it was just kind of one of those disregard of how impactful it was to me as a 13-year-old girl going through that, and freaked out because nobody had ever discussed it with me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. And, that was the reply, was just use a sock. What's the most awful thing?
Oh, my
And so that
goodness.
taught me just to never approach that subject again. And it just made it feel so like everything that I was going through was somehow bad and wrong. So I hated it.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
It made it it contributed to, not that it can ever be a great experience, but it just led to it being a really, really always bad experience for me. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I tried to
Scared me.
I probably just smacked my microphone too.
Hello. All right. So, last question. This should be fun. If you could describe me in 3 words, do that, but one has to be slightly insulting. Oh, hello, dogs.
Oh my goodness. Let's see.
We were going to do, there was a question of like roast me, but we're not doing that.
Okay.
So this is
Let's
your
see.
way
Can
out
I
of
think
that.
of something slightly insulting? I think I would, surprisingly, having watched you grow up, I didn't recognize it so much as a child, but you are very funny. You're very witty and quick. So funny
Okay,
/ witty.
I like that.
Kind. You have a generous heart, and you are kind to people.
That's true. I
And
sure am.
then the only one that might be slightly insulting
I can take it. I can take it. I can take it.
is you can be, and you come by it honestly because it's in your DNA, you can be snarky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So funny, kind, and snarky. That's me. That's good. That's literally me to a T. Funny, kind, snarky. Oh. Anyways, yeah, that's a good one. Kind, funny, and snarky. I love it. All right, that was all the questions. We have our regular topics that we like to cover. So, any advice or funny things lately going on with friends? Anything you got to say about friends? I only have a few, so.
Yeah, me too. You'll find that as you get older,
Few and far between.
yes, you tend to hang on to a very tight group.
Yeah, quality.
Of people. Yeah, you go for quality over quantity. We just went to Arizona with our friends Jeff and Brian to see my friend Carmen. Spent a few days out there, and that was fun. It's always a hoot to. We are all very snarky together.
And they used to be, well, we all used to be next door neighbors when we lived in Arizona. Yeah. So Carmen and Sergio lived 2 doors down, and they had 2 daughters and a son, but their 2 daughters, Clarissa and Cassandra, were my best friends, and
now they're
all grown up.
One has a baby who is adorable. Yeah. If anything funny, I mean, everything is funny when you're with your best friends.
Yeah.
You know, we are judgmental where we wouldn't normally be judgmental, and we're overly sarcastic, and we say things we would never say out in public to each other.
Yeah.
So those things are always fun and funny, but nothing of particular note, I don't think. I wish we could go on vacation like at least 12 times a year.
All the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Family, I mean, we are family.
See?
I guess real quick, like who's in the house? We got me. Okay. Who's the oldest? So we got Charlie. The oldest. How old is she?
She was born in 1989.
She's
People
like
think I'm
30.
crazy because I can't do the math in my head.
I can't either.
I just know what year. Charlie's 93. No, or 89. Ben's 93. You're 96. And Alex is 2004.
Okay, so figure that out. But yeah.
So somewhere in the 30s down to almost 21.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
I was
Charlie.
the middle one until Alex came along.
Yeah.
She's half sister, but obviously that means nothing. She's my sister.
Well, you were the youngest until Alex came along.
Oh yeah, and then I was the middle.
Yeah.
And then being the middle, I fought with the little one and the older one.
Oldest one, yes.
So that was good.
That was good times.
Woo. Remember that time? We were at the rental in Arizona.
When we first got there?
Yep. No. I take that back. It was in McKinney still. It was in the McKinney house.
That's where Alex was born.
Yes. Me and Ben were pretty young. One day in the loft, you guys were in your room. Me and Ben were in the loft. I lay down on the floor and screamed. And you guys came out and you're like, what happened? What happened? I was like, Ben hit me. He pushed me over. And he was like, what? No, I didn't. And I was like, obviously he did. Why would I be laying on the floor? No, I saw that in Drake and Josh.
That's why I never liked those shows.
I saw that on Drake and Josh, and it seamless.
I always hated you guys watching those shows because the kids were always so like mean to their
Mischievous.
parents and making
Life
chaos.
hard, yeah. But that was good. I was proud of myself for that one. I pulled it off without a blip. But yeah, that's our family. You were divorced when I was around 5, so you were
32.
32. You had your first kid at 20.
20.
And then you married Eric,
Yes.
my now dad. But yeah, he's been my dad since I was 5 years old. So
Yeah. We are having our, oh my God, he'll kill me. I never can remember.
oh yeah,
We were married
they were married
in
sometime.
2020.
You know the date?
2002?
2 years before
20,
Al was
one-
born.
1 year? 2023. So this is 22-year anniversary, I think. Is that right?
I think it's a
We're
23.
only kind of smart.
I think it's 23. Just a gut
I
feeling.
think it's 22. I think last year.
We'll figure that
Yeah.
out later.
March
But,
29th. I do know that.
yeah, that's this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, and you guys are going to a concert.
Chicago.
Chicago.
Thanks to Abby and her husband. They got us tickets.
For Christmas.
For
That was so
Christmas.
much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't know Chicago, what's a line that people know?
Love me tomorrow. Promise me. Yeah.
Okay.
There's lots of them.
Look it up. It's good. They're really good. You would like it, and you probably know
I
one
can't
of the
really
songs.
sing.
You would know one of the songs if you heard it, but
Yeah.
that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, it will.
So no Sunday dinner.
Is that on Sunday?
I don't know.
I think it's on a Saturday, the 29th.
Okay.
Eric said so,
Well,
I'll
let
go
us
with
know.
that.
So yeah, we got friends, family, relationships. I mean, you've been married now.
20-something years.
We don't. Oh yeah, we don't know. Sorry,
I'm not sure.
we don't know. We'll skip that.
22 years
2
this month.
Years this month. Okay.
I thought it was 22. I was right.
Okay, last couple topics. We got like news and hot topics. Anything going on out there? You have any opinions about, besides politics, obviously?
Besides politics?
Yeah, we don't do that here.
Yeah. Good. It's horrific out there.
I would just be crying.
Yeah, I would probably just cry all the time. All I have to say is women need to support other women. There's too little of it. We need more of it. Even if something doesn't apply to our own lives, it's not just all about us. It's about our daughters and our friends' children and our granddaughters, and we want this world to be a better place for them. So we need to act and vote accordingly, because every day we see our rights being stripped away, and we need to make sure that we are not leaving this world a worse place for our children and grandchildren. That's
Yeah.
all I have to say.
Yeah. Especially our daughters,
That's right.
because you never want to look at your daughter and have to break some of the news that
No.
we're gonna have to break. So there's that. Ask Abby again. We had no questions. You got any questions for me? Not really. You know everything.
Not quite.
Yeah, unless you have a question, we can make some drinks. You can
Okay.
teach us.
All right. Well, let's start with, it's not just about making the drink.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if you remember, but last Easter, I made a cocktail with a pink liqueur
Yeah.
for Easter.
Yeah. You got to.
So I tried to like
Theme
match
it.
Yeah, theme it. Matchy. At Halloween, I had one that was purple
Yeah.
with plum liqueur.
Super Bowl was like a Mexican.
Ooh, Super Bowl was
Beer.
It was like a margarita punch.
Yeah.
With beer and vodka and lime.
That was
Yeah,
good.
it was really good. A little too good, I think. Hunter got a little lit.
Yeah, Hunter was loving it.
So I try to think of, whether it's seasonal or if you know your crowd and you kind of know what I always want to make sure that all of my guests have everything they need. So I always try to make sure that I have plenty of mixers. If I know, most of my friends aren't big beer drinkers, but if I know people who do drink beer, I always like to have beer. And then you want to always be sure that you have a lovely presentation, because in my brain, I think that one of the ways that I show that I care about you and that I love you is not just by making food or making a drink, but making it lovely when I present it to you.
Okay, I
So,
love that.
I always
It is
like
more
to,
memorable,
yes,
you know?
So I have this little bell on my bar. It says drink please. You can ring it at any time. I also have a bar open sign on my bar and one that says closed. And I always have some sort of fun little cocktail napkin. I have an entire drawer full of funny little cocktail napkins because that's entertaining. You go to pour your drink, you pick up a napkin, you giggle, you start a conversation.
It is. It is an icebreaker. I've seen it,
So
that works.
you do that. And then,
Let's get our supplies.
yes.
All right. We have everything?
Yes. So this is, it's called, and I'm going to slaughter this because it's an Italian word. I think it's pronounced signore, and it means sir in Italian. It's Signore, Hugo. So it's a modified Hugo Spritz. And I had this in an Italian restaurant, and now I have copycatted it because it was so delicious. Okay. Normally we would make it in a shaker, but I don't want to shake ice on camera and on this microphone. So we're just going to stir it. But same ingredient, same thing applies. The one I had an edible flower in it. It was so cute.
Okay, so if you can do that.
Since I dehydrate my own citrus, I just brought the dehydrated lemons instead. So we're going to make it pretty anyway. All right, so we start with equal parts of rose flavored syrup. You can order this
On Amazon.
if you can't find it in a store.
World Market has all the flavors.
Yes, World Market is one. When I Googled it last night, they did show that they carried this. So
And sometimes when you go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's in the checkout line, they'll have random flavors.
Yeah. Okay, and then some guava nectar. Even if you don't like guava, this just adds a little sweetness, and it's really, really tasty in this.
Okay, I feel like I need to do something here.
Nope, you're good. Just watch and learn.
Okay.
1, 2, that. Oh, elderflower. This is Saint Germain.
This is good. This you've used in a lot of drinks.
Yes, this is the main ingredient. This and Prosecco are the main ingredients in a normal Hugo Spritz. And I overfilled that, so we're just going to go like that. I can't see because I'm blind without my reading glasses. And then you top it with Prosecco, just like you would a normal Hugo Spritz.
Always just get the Costco.
And the Costco version is just as good as like La Marca, and it's about half the price. So I highly recommend.
Also, what is it? Trader Joe's has like $5 bottles of Prosecco. Tastes exactly the same.
Prosecco is champagne's sassy little sister, cheaper and just as good.
Just as good.
And we're gonna give that.
Oh, look at that! It has like a little layer before you stir it.
Yes, it's
if
so
you can
cute.
see that.
Oh, I
Too
probably
late.
just stirred it. Yeah,
That's all
you
right.
can see it. It's kind of ombre there, so it's a great spring drink. It's very refreshing. We're gonna put a little dehydrated citrus in there.
Really just for effect. Don't
just
probably
for effect.
eat that.
You
Okay.
could, but so this is a modified Hugo Spritz for spring.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's try it. Delicious. I tried it yesterday also. So I
Delish.
knew.
Very refreshing.
It's
very light.
really good. It's like if you like Aperol Spritz, this is,
Similar, not as on the bitter side because Aperol's a little bit bitter. But
yeah, this is very sweet and like flowery.
it is. It's kind
Fruity.
of floral. Yeah.
It doesn't taste like rose. I don't really like
No,
rose, but
I don't either. But this
so
is
good.
good.
So good. All right. Well, we learned something. We learned a little about you. Are we missing anything about you that you feel like the world needs to know?
I am currently for hire.
Okay. She has a lot of experience.
No, I don't think so. I'm probably not coming off nearly as hysterical as I am in real life, but you know, maybe someday we'll do another one and
We'll be a little tipsy. We kind of kept it light this evening.
light
So
low key. So I have a question, since this is, you know, mom-daughter thing.
Yeah, you're supposed to ask me
So
questions
what
too.
have you learned from me that you have taken away from and have found value in?
Oh man, wasn't prepared. What have I learned from you? I mean, I've learned a lot from you. I'd say the biggest in everyday life, obviously the cleaning.
Yes, I am a kind of a clean freak.
She's a clean freak. She's more so than me somehow, because everyone that meets me is like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. But yeah, just keeping everything clean all the time. I never go to bed with dishes in the sink. Yeah, I think that, waking us up in the morning with the sound of the laundry machine and cleaning and, it did something, I guess, because now I want to keep my house clean, and it drives me, I can't even relax.
No, yeah, that's part of it for me is I cannot truly ever feel like I'm relaxed if I am surrounded by clutter or if something is dirty. But once it's clean, I am perfectly content and relaxed.
Yep.
And I like to be prepared. Like, who wants to get up first thing in the morning and start their day with having to
Yuck
clean
in the
house?
sink. That's my nastiest. If I see like food in the sink, old food in the sink, I wake up to that.
Yeah.
Day ruined.
My parents never had a dishwasher, and we were supposed to trade out as girls. So we were five sisters in my family, no boys. And so without a dishwasher, we always were supposed to have a different dish night, especially once the older girls started dating. That all went out the window.
Yeah.
I was always getting stuck with the dishes because they were always out and about. And my solution was to run the sink full of hot soapy water, and then leave them in the sink. But inevitably I would fall asleep or forget about it and wake up the next morning, and I would have to reach my hand in a cold sink full of
Smelly
yucky water. And I was like, this sucks. So I don't know, just certain things like that kind of started me on my path to, I'm just going to do it, and then it's done, and tomorrow I don't have any of this to face, and I wake up every morning and everything's done. And also, by the way, you never know what's going to happen. What if somebody shows up at your door suddenly?
Your neighbor invites themselves in.
Yeah, or whatever, I always like, even if it's the FedEx guy, well, when FedEx guys actually used to knock on your door, now they just throw crap at your door and run off. But whoever, I always like to be prepared and have everything ready for whatever comes my way. So I'm glad that you inherited that, because I think it's a really, really good trait.
I think so too.
And you're going to raise a child that probably does the same.
Yeah. And people notice, like, her friend's mom, I'm like, oh yeah, hopefully it's clean enough in there. And she's like, oh my gosh, your house is always clean. She's been here twice. I'm like, okay, sure, thank you. So I try my best. It's hard with 2 dogs and a 6-year-old, but
it is.
you just sweep 3 times a day. And
yeah, I have a couple of sisters who aren't very clean, and they always said that I had mental issues because I was such a clean freak, and I was like, no, I think it's just the opposite. I don't know how you can, how your brain can function if you're surrounded by mountains of dirty laundry and food on the couch where ugh,
some people really don't care, but also I've read that it can be like a trauma response to want to keep things super clean and always be cleaning, because you feel like you finally have control over something.
I think that's part of it for me, for sure. I think it's a way to control my environment. I also think it's part of my ADHD.
OCD,
ADHD. I have to, it
has to be clear space
to
think.
Because
that's how I am.
Clutter is a distraction, and I can't be distracted, or else I lose my focus, because all I'm seeing is that there's something on the chair over there.
Right, and so you're like, I got to do that in 10 minutes.
And then I'll be good. Yeah. So I think it's a multitude of things, but overall, I embrace it, and I'm fine with it, and I keep things clean all the time, so I'm never strapped to cleaning my house for 4 hours at a time.
Yeah.
It takes me, a few minutes to go around and pick a few things up, sweep the floor, and I'm done.
Yeah.
So I am totally fine with whatever caused this
we'll take it
Yeah,
because it
I'll take it.
works.
It works.
Works out. Yeah. And in my marriage, I don't have to cook. I just clean.
You just clean. See? Fair trade.
He cooks, I clean. Easy peasy. Also, you don't want me to cook because you'd probably be sick. I've never.
You cooked one time when you came to live with us.
I did.
You cooked, and it was really good. Now you made the kitchen into an incredible disaster.
That's why I hate cooking.
But
That makes a mess, and it's really hard for me to stay.
you cooked well. But that's
Focused.
a skill. That's a learned skill
It definitely is.
to know what you're doing in advance, have it planned out. It's just kind of like cleaning. So you assess the situation or read the recipe, you get everything ready, and then you break things down into workable pieces so that while this is happening, you can clean these dishes or wipe down the counter. And it's just a learned thing.
Yeah,
but it takes
once
practice.
you do it once you
Yeah.
make the same thing more than
Yeah,
once.
that's it. It just takes practice like anything else.
Yeah, I gotta learn.
You could do it.
I
Start
gotta learn.
small.
I know how to make ground beef. Anything I can make taco salad
There you
because that's
go.
easy. I can make spaghetti, ground beef and rice.
Well, that's a start.
I'll be fed either way.
As long as you have beef.
As long as I have beef, I'm not touching chicken. But there's got to be something more meaningful that I learned from you. I mean, a lot of my parenting, obviously I don't have anyone else to look to except for how I was parented. So I just take the things that I enjoyed and respected and understand now that like that's a good thing, and I try to do those things, and then the things that I didn't like, I tried to do those less. One of the things, we're just being honest, I try not to, and I don't know how often you did this, but again, when you're a kid, you don't know what sticks, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to stick and what doesn't. So I, what was I just...
It was going to be evil, so your brain just
No, it
dashed
was so
away.
easy. It was so easy. I just had it. It was like, oh, okay. Like when you tell your kid to do something and they're like, why? And you're like, because I said so. Because I said, or because I told you.
Yeah,
I hated that.
of course.
Hated it. So now
that's the response.
and of course
when
I
you're
throw it out there sometimes.
completely frustrated,
Right.
Because you've already asked 12 times.
Exactly. So I'm sure
It's
you
like,
did.
all right, everything else has failed just because I told you to do it. That's
Exactly. So I'm sure that wasn't like always your response,
I
but
tried not to
that's
make
what-
it, but
that's what my kid brain got. So that's when I talk to Devin, and even if she doesn't ask why, I'll be like, can you do this? Because this is why you need to do it. I'm not just asking you to do things
random.
for fun because I like to see you suffer. We just have to brush our teeth so they don't turn
Fall out.
black, and brush our hair so we don't look crazy. Everyone does their hair, you know? So, yeah, just explaining things. And, yeah, just like you said, you try to do the things
Yeah. I mean,
that worked, and things that didn't work, you try not to. You're probably going to do them anyways, but...
sometimes they just sneak out.
And then you're like, oh crap. Your
Yep.
spouse is like, sure
Yep.
about that? Yeah, good thing. Single parents, I just can't get over it because I was a single parent for 3 days last week, and
It
I
seems
didn't-
like everything that
didn't
can
do
go
well.
wrong does go wrong the minute that other parent walks out the door. I mean, things start breaking.
yeah.
Something comes in the mail that you have no idea what's happening. You know, it always worked that way.
Yeah.
And then it's difficult. You get so, especially when you have a spouse that is helpful and that
Right.
contributes. That's a huge
Teamwork
part
thing.
that's gone now, that you're like, oh, Like when Dad goes away on a trip, we separate the chores with the dogs.
Yep.
I feed, I do certain things with them. He takes them on a walk every morning.
Yep. And then when you have to walk, you're
Because he gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't wake up till 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And so it's a change in my schedule to do that, and I am not happy.
yeah.
So, yeah, when we're taking on all of those other things, it does seem like it's a tremendous amount. I mean, I was not married. After I got divorced, it was 2 years before I remarried. And Eric worked out. He worked in Colorado for the first year that we were in Texas. So, I mean, I did things like, instead of taking lunch, I took my lunch hour to drive from one town to the next to pick you guys up from school and take you back to the house. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, we spent weekends just at the pool with an ice chest so that you guys could be entertained and have something to do, because, I mean, it was just me and 3 of you kids by myself, and I had limited resources, and,
Yeah.
you know, it was difficult. And I look back at some of the things that happened during that time, and I'm just like,
I don't remember that.
I
so-
have no idea how I did it and managed to keep you all alive, quite frankly. But
Well, I don't remember any of it, so it couldn't have been too bad.
or you've blocked it out because it was so traumatic.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It wasn't bad. It was just a lot of additional work that I would not have had to have done had I had somebody to, here
Yeah.
to support me. So yeah, single parenting, kudos when you're doing it and doing it well, because holy
Crazy.
cow, it's more than challenging.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
I think, yeah, you asked me some questions. I asked you. I think we learned something great. We learned how to make an amazing drink for your next get together, party, Easter.
Easter.
This is perfect. It's pink.
Yep, it's pink.
Adorable. Just name it something else if you want.
Baby showers.
Yeah.
Not for the pregnant mother, but
Oh, I have an idea real quick. And I don't know where to share it, but obviously, like, this is a place to share it. So while we're here, before I forget about it, what's your least favorite chore?
my least favorite chore.
Around the house. It's got to be dishes or laundry, okay? Right?
Dishes, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then laundry? You don't mind laundry?
I actually love laundry because it's an immediate, I love chores where I can see immediate results. So I put a big wad of dirty laundry in the washer. It comes out clean. I throw it in, and then I get to fold it all nice and neat. I like that one. I like sweeping the floor because I get to see that.
Well, yeah, that's like, I like more immediate, like wiping the counter, immediate.
Yeah.
Laundry, you gotta wait, you forget. That's tough for me. But yeah, laundry is my least favorite chore ever. And a lot of people I know, laundry's the hardest.
Yeah.
They have like laundry folding machines in Japan. Obviously, they're like thousands of dollars.
Yes.
But me and Logan are like, we both hate laundry so much. So we're like, oh my gosh, like what could we do? We need to invent something. But I did think of something, so I just want your opinion. And it's obviously, this is in the future a bit. I don't think the people are quite ready for it. But really, it's called Abby Super Suits. Okay? You only have 3 options. You have a long sleeve pant bodysuit option. You have a short sleeve pant bodysuit and a tank top short bodysuit.
So kind of like a jumpsuit type
Yes.
thing?
So
Okay.
for women,
So shorts, long.
yes, and you have 2 options. You could do tight fit or loose fit. Men or women, you
Okay.
pick, okay? But the kicker is, okay, so you only have 3 options. You buy your suit, so you only have a few articles of clothing, right? So obviously less to wash. And you're thinking that's boring, blah, blah, blah. On Abby's Super Suits app, you can design your own super suit. Everyone's going to have the same cut style, right? You may be able to change it a little bit, but you can design.
Like the fabric.
You can put your dog on it. You can put
Gotcha.
flowers, all white, all black. You could design. But the point is, you're cutting down on laundry. Everyone's going to get on this trend. Only wear 5 pieces a week, you know?
So have you ever heard of granimals?
It's exactly like Granimals for everybody.
You have 5 tops and 5 pairs of shorts, and you can just mix and match them all.
Yes, but these are bodysuits, so you don't even have to mix and match.
Oh.
You don't even have to match. You just.
But what about people like me who are short and a little wider who look terrible in the type of suit?
Well, you can get the loose fit. You can choose your fit. You can do like a little Dickies, like how they have those little like worker collar. They're like cargo-ish, light cargo material, and then the pants. That would be cute on you. Like fitted, not like super loose, but like kind of fitted. Or you could do like you get to pick it. You can tailor it to your size. You can put your bust and waist and pant length in there.
So what would you have? Wait, but I think we have to have more than 3 options, because what about evening wear or going to an event?
Well, that's okay, but that's on your obviously. Like if you need a jacket, go buy your own jacket.
Okay, but this is just like.
But this is just
wear.
like main clothes to cut down on how much laundry you're doing. Like right now, I'm wearing 1, 2, 3.
Am I limited to 3? So I'm going to have to do laundry at least once every 3 days.
I'm thinking you're not limited.
What
you
if
can
it's
buy
winter and I need all long sleeves because it's winter? I'm going to need 5 of those for every day of the week, or else I'm going to have to do laundry constantly.
Right. So if you're rich, sure, go ahead and buy 5.
I'm trying to decide how it's cutting down on that.
No, that's fine. If you're rich, go ahead and buy 5. But still, it's less than the 3 pieces you're washing now. Okay. But if you're a normal person like me, I would buy 1 of each. And if I say I'm going to wear this one tomorrow, you put it in the sink with some dish soap, hang it to dry.
I'm going to think about this, because I'm going to think about
I think it's good. I think that's
like
the best.
I would wear more than once. So I would only be really washing 2 pieces. And jeans, I typically wear
if you even want to wear jeans, yeah. So you're really just washing socks and underwear, couple jumpsuits.
Oh, socks and underwear. Maybe we need to do built-in mesh bottoms.
But this is just what I'm thinking of with. It's already trademarked. So that's don't look that up, but it's already trademarked. So yeah, Abby super suits next 10 years.
I pretty much feel like that's what America has gone to anyway already. They're called leggings, and like every other woman in America is wearing leggings and
a t-shirt or hoodie.
Yeah. Every day of the week. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our show.
Okay.
Ask Abby. Thanks for having. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to my house.
Thank you for having.
Thank you for coming to my house and doing my podcast.
Thank you for asking.
Time out of your work week.
We can cheers.
And making us learn how to
cheers.
make an amazing drink.